Let's continue here on the College Basketball Preview Show. Next up on the hot seat, he is the head coach at Morgan State. It is good to have Kevin Broadus back with us. Kevin, it is Glenn and Patrick. It's always good to chat with you. Thanks for joining us once again here on the College Basketball Preview Show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Coach, something that Patrick was talking about earlier on in the show. You guys have been right in the middle of the MEAC the last few years, right? And like we have seen high moments, we have seen really good wins. Right now, what to you broadly do you feel like is the difference between being competitive and being ready to break through and have that big season to put yourself in position to try to win the league?
First and foremost, you got to have kids that buy in, and then you got to. And one thing you can't control is injuries. And right now, we pretty healthy for the most part. You know, guys are playing together. They bought in, and these guys are working very, very hard. And we've had one close scrimmage we fared really well in, but you know, they're scrimmages. They don't count. Now it's getting ready to get real in another about a week and a half. And you know, I think, you know, for us, it's just attention to detail right now, and the guys they're buying in. So I think with this group, I think if we can keep doing what we're doing, we'll get over the wall and have a successful season. Like you said, we're right there in the MEAC and in the thick of things, in the middle of the pack, but we're trying to get to the top, and it's not easy getting to the top. You know, everyone wants to get to the top. You know, Mike Tyson used to say everyone has a plan until they get hit. So, you know, we've gotten hit once so far this season. Now we're going to, you know, amp it up, play another scrimmage soon, and then hopefully when we go down to the hilltop, we got something for them. You know, we're going not just to be competitive and play a game. We're going to try to, you know, compete and do things the right way, and hopefully we have some success.
Kevin, you mentioned that opener against Georgetown on November 3rd, next Monday, or a week from Monday. How meaningful is that opportunity for you to be able to? You've obviously spent a lot of time with that program. Just how special is that chance for you to get to go play Georgetown with your team?
It's like going back home. You know, it's a special occasion, but like I always tell our guys, that game is not going to make or break our season. It's one game. It's the first game. It's just going to help us tell where we are. You know, you want to play with the big dogs. You want to fare well against them. You know, some of these kids was at that level. You know, they want to go back and show they can compete at that level, and we want to show that, you know, we can compete at that level. And it's going to be a tough test because they played a really good GW team in an exhibition and beat them at GW. They're really well coached. They're a good ball club, and you know, that's not to say that we can't compete with them, because I think we can. If we execute, play hard, play smart, and play together, we got a chance. I'm not going to say we're going to beat them, but we got a chance, you know.
When you look at what you got back, Rob Lawson as a guy that stands out as one of the more veteran guys in the MEAC, one of the more established guys in the MEAC, just what do you think he's going to be able to do, maybe with a little more on his plate this season after some of your graduation losses?
Leadership. He knows the road that we're going down, who we're playing, how we're going to play him. You know, he knows all the calls, and he knows the regime, what we're planning to do. He helps these guys every day, and you know, getting them ready when we get in the gym. You know, we got a lot of new faces like most people, but these guys, you know, they don't know from one drill to the next drill the pace and, you know, what we expect. And Rob knows all that, and he does have that leadership, you know, capability of getting these guys in the right place in the right time. So it's a welcome having him back and having some of these other guys back to lead these new guys to new heights.
Kevin Broadus, Morgan State head coach, with us on our college basketball preview. Coach, Patrick brings up everything you lost, but he and I were over there for senior night last year. That was a very emotional night with Cam and Will Thomas. Rob's a big part of it, right? But who else? Not just the leadership, but again, just scoring points and sort of being the alphas. Who's ready to make that jump for you this year?
The guys that I really so far has really taken a leap and have led us in the right direction is Elijah Davis. Played at a couple Division I's. He played at Bowie State last year, but he has been unbelievable. I mean, he is a point guard deluxe. He's an elite point guard, elite lead guard. And I think he gets us into the stuff and get us the guys who can score. He gets them going. And I just think right now with him and bringing in a guy, Alfred Worrell, who can really, really score from Southern Miss, helps us with our scoring. I mean, we haven't had problems in scoring in the last few years. I mean, we led the league in scoring. You know, we was top 5 in the nation, top 5% in scoring in the nation. But Alfred is a big time scorer, and we have a kid, Walter Peggs, who can really, really score the basketball. I mean, dynamite score. So I think we have the scoring part figured out. We just got to get our defensive, principles and how we're going to play different schemes together. And I think these guys are buying in and doing the things that we need to do to be successful.
In the front court, I know Dallas James is a guy that has some MEAC experience, big guy, good lineage. I think that's somebody you were pretty excited about getting when we talked over the summer. Just how much do you see him being able to influence the course of things for you guys this year?
Dallas is doing very well. Hard worker. He is the anchor of a defense. I mean, he blocks shots, he rebounds. He's unselfish. We love what he brings to the table. We bring back Christian Oliver, the big kid we had 2 years ago who sat out last year, who's healthy now and doing really well. Marlon Harris has really stepped up this year so far. He is playing very, very well. So we have size. Size is not the issue. It's just, it's going to be by committee. Then you have Matar, who's taking the next level from a freshman to a sophomore. But I like our size, and Dallas has been a bright surprise for us so far.
Do you? This is a more of a philosophical question, Coach, because when you lose as much as you did at the top, right? Is it, hey, I want everybody to compete. I want everybody to go into a year believing they can be the alpha on this team, that role is there, or do you need to identify and say, hey, we need it. We need you to be this guy for this team?
Well, sometimes subtraction is best. Sometimes you need to move on. Like, I think with the group we had, we got the most out of what we could get out of them.
Okay.
Now we have new blood. Guys are hungry to show that they are alphas. And sometimes you got to slow them down and say, hey, this is how we do things. But I love the competition, how they're competing every day and trying to impress, but doing things in the confines of what we're trying to do. I mean, we've had some really, really good practices, spirited practices, tough, hard-nosed practices. I mean, these guys, all from 1 to 15 are really, really putting the effort out. And I can't say we had that all the time last year. We knew Will was going to score. We knew Cam House was going to score. Then after that, it was a crapshoot. These guys, we know we're going to defend better. I know that. This group is going to defend better. So I think that makes us a better ball club.
You mentioned over the summer that Trent Edwards was having a really good offseason. How has he kind of progressed as he heads into his junior year, and do you see a breakout possibility there for him?
Trent is one of these guys that he's a system player for us. He will be a lot better. He's going to play a lot more. When people look at breakout as, is he going to score more? Probably not. But I tell you what, he's more of a force on the defensive end. Trent is taking in the role of, I'm going to stop my man. I'm going to stop the best guy on the other team. I'm going to defend. I'm going to rebound, stuff like that. See, and this is the thing that with this team, we have roles and guys are buying into their roles. Everyone is not going to score, but everyone's going to defend on this team. That was the difference last year. We had guys who was going to score, but they was handicapped defensively, if you understand what I'm saying. And I think this team here is more of a, okay, we're going to stop you. We're going to defend you. We're going to do all the things we need to do to win. And that's the main thing. I think we had guys, okay, I'm in my senior year. I'm just trying to get to the next level. These guys here, whatever year they're in, you would never know, but they're trying to please and satisfy and win. That's what their biggest thing, win.
Does it feel like the group is more malleable for you then?
Remains to be seen, but
okay.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse yet, but what I will say is right now we're a better team than we were last year, if that makes any sense. I think everyone thinks they're really good. I'm not saying we're really good. I think we have a better concept and a better idea of what we're trying to do this year. We have a lot of togetherness, and guys they're working way harder than they worked last year.
It almost sounds like they're, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, and it almost sounds like you're not having to spend as much time steering guys into doing what you want them to do, as opposed
Absolutely. You can put those words in. I'm not coaching effort, and I'm not coaching, personalities. I'm coaching basketball right now. I'm coaching guys that, want to get better, want to do better, want to please, and want to win. And that's a world of difference. I heard the other day Kelvin Sampson say, when I have to coach, effort and personalities, it takes away from, your chances of winning and losing. But when I'm just coaching basketball, it's a different thing. And I think that's, I listened to it, I said, wow, I thought it was just us. But, that's the guy who's won 30 games a year for the last 6 years saying that. So I respect that.
That sounds like it's a little, it's not just a little bit, a lot of weight off your shoulders.
A whole lot. And I got leaders now. Like, I got leaders like Rob has been here 4 years, Trent's 3 years. Elijah has been in a system that's similar to ours when he came from Bowie. I coached with Coach Brooks. So he knows, what to expect and what I'm looking for and what I'm trying to accomplish with these guys. So we have leaders, and Walter Peggs is a leader. I mean, forget he can score, but he's a leader. He is an old soul that leads these guys into lead them the right way, And I see our guys more so this year together a lot. So it's a good thing to watch.
Coach, you mentioned those guys that have been around for a little while. As Patrick told me earlier in the show, that's not common really anywhere in college basketball, but particularly in the MEAC. What has it meant to you to have those types of kids that have wanted to stick around and be a part of what you've been doing for the last few years?
It means a lot. You have some kids, when they came here, their parents said, well, this is what we want out of our kid. This is what we want him to do. And it was vice versa. I said, this is what we need him to do and we want him to do. And it was a common, togetherness. And the guys that stayed, they wanted the same things that we wanted. And some of the guys that left, not to say all of them left, they left some of them left for bigger pastures. I get that. And I'm not, Daniel Akatobi went to UT San Antonio, and I get why he went. I mean, financially, it made all the sense in the world. And we're happy for these guys that left and got financially compensated. That's today's college basketball. But the ones who stayed, they had a vision. I want to get a degree. And we had 8 guys last year to get a degree from Morgan State. But these guys wanted to get a degree, and they got aspirations of winning the MEAC championship. So we're happy. We're happy that they stayed, and we're building off of that. Rob, Trent, Christian Oliver, Matar Wade, Jaden Saka. We had a bunch of guys that stayed, so we're happy with that. The growth.
As Patrick mentioned, the season gets underway November 3rd at Georgetown, and the first chance to see the Bears at home will be Thursday the 6th against Central Penn, with a great local matchup against UMBC on November 11th. An awesome opportunity for you to get out and check out a local rivalry game at Hill Fieldhouse. Coach, always appreciate taking the time for us. Looking forward to seeing you out there this season. Best of luck, and we'll be talking to you real soon, all right?
Thank you for having me, man. Good luck with you guys in the season. I'll see you guys soon.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Coach Kevin Broadus at Morgan State. Patrick, your thumbnail on the Bears.
Well, when I talked to Kevin, I think it was in July at one point, I definitely got the sense that he liked the group a little bit more. I think this morning we got a sense that he really likes this group a lot more. And so the question becomes, how much of that is because this group is great to deal with, and how much of it was that going through last year and maybe the year before was a bit of a struggle. At the very least, if you don't feel like you're fighting your team, you're probably going to feel like you have a better shot. And so he also pointed out what we all know, which is the first 2 months of the season, indirectly anyway, the first 2 months of the season is simply you're getting yourself ready. Your first game, your first 2 games, whatever, it doesn't it isn't going to impact the course of how successful you're going to be, because what you're really looking at is those 14 games in January and February, March, plus the conference tournament. So I think, as we've talked about a couple times, there's no doubt that Morgan State will probably be able to at least bank on finishing somewhere in the middle of the pack, because that's what they've done so consistently here. Can they take the next step? Can they, as he put it, get over the wall? Rob Lawson's going to have a big say in that. He mentioned the D2 transfers. Walter Peggs is a guy who averaged 26 points a game at Spring Hill College, which is not, that's hard to do at any level. So you certainly have to respect that. And then you look at a guy, I'm just trying to remember the name off the top of my head, Elijah Davis,
right?
The kid from Bowie
He's
State.
very high on him.
And he's a guy that has some D1 experience too. So I know when Kevin and I talked over the summer, he was like, this guy might be one of the best point guards. This might be the best point guard that we've had since I got here. So I'm curious to see how they look in that opener against Georgetown. And against UMBC. I mean, that UMBC game could very easily be that has the feel of like an 85-83 type of game, doesn't it?
It does. Could be a fun night to get over to Hill Fieldhouse.